Hey, hello guys. So today I'm going to show you how to put together a duck blind for, I'm going to say under 50 bucks to be honest, Canadian. So what I did is I went to Home Depot. I picked up these, they're 6-gauge cattle panels is what they're called. They're basically like page wire, they're metal, they're mesh fencing, but there's not really a border around them like a gate. And they're pretty light, they're easy to use. I checked the ag stores first because a lot of the time if it's an ag application you can get them cheaper. They only had the 16-foot lengths and they wanted about 100 bucks a pop for them, which was a little more than I wanted to spend. I wasn't that dedicated to this. And B, I didn't need 16 feet of it, to be honest. So I did a little digging around. I checked at Home Depot. They had pre-cut sections already. They're 3.5 by 7 feet. And they had them for 22 bucks and change. So I bought 2 of them just because it's still half the price of a 16-foot panel and I have extra if I need it. Now they're like a shiny galvanized metal, so the only thing I did is I did have some camo paint from when I did that duck punt last year left over. So I just hit them with a matte color finish. I did one in matte brown, one in earth tone, and then I just kind of crisscrossed across and kind of broke up the mesh a little bit. I don't think you'll be able to see much of it through the foliage once it's done, but just in case, ducks do have very good eyes. So I got rid of any shininess that might be on them. I'm gonna go out and cut some reeds right now. I've got them up around a pond out in the front pasture, so I'm gonna chop a bunch of those down, get a bunch of reeds on this, kind of zap strap them on there to break up the outline of it, not have it squared up so much. And then yeah, we're gonna slap that together, show you guys how it goes together. And yeah, 20 bucks and change for a panel, a pack of zap straps, and you know, the time it took to get a bunch of reeds, or you can go pick up some grass for probably 50 bucks a pop at Cabela's and go that route, or you know, find natural stuff. Honestly, if you can find natural stuff, it looks a lot better. And I mean, the reeds aren't necessarily growing out on that edge of the field, but once I've got these on, I'm gonna brush it in with some natural stuff and then let the blackberries grow in over next summer, and by the end of next year, you won't even know it's there. But yeah, that's the plan. I'll take you guys along with it and show you how it goes together. So there you go, stay tuned. I'm gonna grab some of these reeds here you see in the background. I'm gonna bunch those up. Those are gonna go on those grids that I painted, that I matted out the other day there. So those are gonna go together, make the front walls for the blinds this year. So I'm gonna basically make them as full as I can with these reeds. And then once I bring them out there, I'm gonna add some of the brush that we've got growing out there, kind of put that over top after these have had a chance to die for a couple days. With this heat, that shouldn't take very long. And realistically, I mean, until the rains start, we're not gonna see a ton of ducks back there. So I've probably still got about a 2-week window before I got to start worrying about any birds flying around out there. So I don't think I'm going to hunt over that field for another 2 or 3 weeks here. So this will give it time to kind of brush in naturally. And then once this is up, I'm not going to pull it down next year. I'm hollowing out a section of blackberry bushes. So what I'm going to do is just keep it hollowed out in the back so we can keep storing stuff in there and putting a bench in there. And then basically leave this front wall in place. Once those blackberries start to grow again next summer, they're going to crawl over that front wall, lock themselves in. Should look 100% natural by the end of next year already. So that's the plan. You can watch it come together, and hopefully that gives you guys a couple ideas. Alrighty guys, so that ought to be enough, I figure, for the 2 small walls that I'm making. The panels I got are 3.5 by 7 feet, so that ought to be enough. If not, I can always come back out here and grab some more. Brisket's figuring I brought him lunch. What do you think, buddy? I don't think you want to eat that stuff. I don't think it's going to taste very good. Alright, so there's pretty well the finished product. So once I got all the bushels kind of tied in there with the zap straps, then I stood it up, went through and kind of wove more reeds through where the gaps were. So I tried to kind of seal it up as best I can, kind of cross wove a bit because they are going to droop more once they're dead. And then the only other thing I did is I ran 1 strand of monofilament line kind of about 2 inches down from the top, and kind of wrap that around just to stop those top reeds that are extra tall from falling down past the mesh line there, so I don't have to recover that up. But that's actually brushed in a fair bit. It would probably be okay the way it is. But once I do get it out there, I am going to put a little bit of kind of dry sage and a couple other things in there that are in that field, just to make it look A, a little more natural, and B, just to make sure that it's all completely brushed in once this stuff kind of dies and starts to brown out and droop. So I may have to add a little bit to it as the season progresses, but that should be pretty good. And then once I get it out there, like I said, I'm going to cut a hole out of the blackberries there, prop this up in front on a bit of a 45, so it's not going to be quite as tall. And then, yeah, that'll be the front wall for the blind. So I'll show you guys the finished product once it's installed and done, and take it from there. All right, so it's hard to see, but that's where we had the blind cut out last year. So this is the cornfield that we hunt. And right out front here, you can see it's a little bit damp, which is actually surprising because it's we haven't seen rain in weeks, if not over a month. Nothing decent anyways. But the water table's so high here that it doesn't take much to get down to it. But this area here floods out real nice, and it floods basically right up to the bush line. So that's where we're gonna hide our blind in there. A good berm behind it. And then nothing but bush down either side of it. So, alrighty guys, well, most of it is done. I hollowed out that blackberry bush where we had our blind last year, and then put the new grid up and then brushed it in with blackberries and corn stalks and grass from out here. And so I'm gonna let it, like I said, realistically we're not gonna get rain for the next, I think next week we're supposed to finally get some rain. There's supposed to be a cold snap at the end of next week that should finally start pushing birds down. So realistically, I'm not gonna hunt this for minimum 2, if not 3 weeks. So I'm just gonna let it age in for now. It's gonna take over here. I've tried to leave some of the overhanging ones, so as the birds are flying in from their eye view, they can't see much. It's hollowed out inside. I'm gonna post a couple pictures. There's a fair bit of room in there. Ideally, normally I'll run 2 shooters out of this. I can do 3. It's a little bit crowded, but it's not bad. As long as you got a lefty, it works out pretty well. But yeah, otherwise, that's kind of what I've been up to today. So pretty decent. And yeah, I mean, it took me an afternoon and not even 50 bucks. So if that helps you guys, hopefully you can knock down some ducks. It worked well for me last year. It's a little upgraded this year, so I think we should be all right. And then by next year, the blackberries are going to take over, and they're gonna do their thing. So it'll be a natural wall by next year. I'll just have to hollow out a shooting window, and yeah. So hope that helps. Hope you guys have a good night and good luck.